Hello students, I'm your course instructor Dr. Chaya BM. So in this video we will be looking into the concepts of design of real-time system, that is basic software modules present in design of real-time system, single program approach, and what do you mean by foreground and background approach. Basic software modules. This includes various software modules with their different functionalities and the type of time constraints. So we have to mention several clock software modules. The first one is clock or calendar module. The clock or calendar module is also a software module used in the design of real-time system, and we have a control module. Control module is a basic software module. Again, we have operator display, and operator input. Operator input is also a basic software module. So apart from this, we have management information, and a startup module, and my last one is startup module. So the basic software modules include clock or calendar models, control. So every models mentioned here has different timing constraints. So maybe it is hard, soft, or sometimes it is interactive. So interactive system. So depending upon the time constraints and the functionalities, we need to categorize the different software modules. The first module is clock or control module. It means that the clock or control module is a hard time constant. Why? Because the control module is the one which is used to set a sampling interval. The control module is the one which is used to set sampling interval. We know that by it has various control algorithms, and it is the one which is used to set sampling interval. Suppose if we are setting a sampling interval of 40 milliseconds and designated as TS, so it has to the system has to produce its output within this 40 milliseconds. So we have to ensure that it is not crossing this 40 milliseconds, because it is the timing constant is hard. However, even if it is hard real-time constant, we can give some tolerance up to ES. We can give some tolerance, that is TS plus or minus ES. It means that if the sampling interval is 40 milliseconds, some average value of 0.5 milliseconds can be given in order to give some specified relaxation. So the next module is about a clock module. So the clock module, we need to ensure that in the clock module, it is also a hard real-time system, hard real-time constraint. It has a hard real-time constraint, and this module is made a run at every, why it is hard? Because this module is made to run at every 20 milliseconds in order not to miss any clock pulse. Hence it is hard real-time systems. However, we can make it soft real-time system by using some additional hardware, that is counters. We can use some counters in order to make it soft real-time system. So the next is a soft real-time constraint one, which is operator display. So what is this operator display? So when we say operator display, it is basically an hard constraint. It is the one module which keeps up the hard time constraint, because it updates at every 5 milliseconds or 5 seconds. It updates at 5 seconds, but see, maximum time can also be given as 10 seconds. It's not that it has to always update at 5 seconds. We can also make it 10 seconds. Hence we can say it is a soft time constant one. So why it is cyclic? Because at every, I say at every 5 seconds, at every 5 seconds, in the sense it should remain cyclic. So next is operator input. So operator input is an event based, because we are not using it, we are not updating it all the time. It's not every 5 seconds in this case. That is why it is event based. Whenever there is an event, only then we need to give. If I have to change any values, if I have to change any values, only then we need to update the new values. So hence this is an soft real-time system. The operator input is soft real-time constraint 1, and uh, it has an event based. It is an event based. Next we have management information. Management information is also a cyclic or event. It means that, so generally when I say management information, it is the one which gives the information about average time, average time of output, and average temperature obtained, and so many other information, where it updates at every 24 hours period. When I say every 24 hours period it has to update, then the event will be cyclic. So if it's not I mean compulsory that we have to make it 24 hours, every 24 hours it has to update. So I can also make it an event based. I can program in such a way that the management information module can update at every 10 hours, or at a 10th hour, or at 24th hour. It's like that. So hence it can be event or cyclic, hence it is written it as an event or cyclic. The next is the next module here to discuss is that startup module. The startup module does not have to operate in real time always, so hence we can call it as a standard interactive module. So hence it is interactive. It is neither hard neither soft. It can be a standard interactive module because it does not have to operate in real time. So all these are having because collectively we need to get the performance of the real-time system. So all share the data. So this is the basic understanding of basic software modules. So here the clock control are hard real-time constraint 1, operator display, operator input, and management information are soft. Startup is the module which need not be operated in real time, hence we have made it as interactive. So we saw various modules in the previous slide, which also called as an various activities which can be divided into subprograms. So these subprograms share a certain information, and how next stages of design proceed will depend on this general approaches to implementation. So basically there are the three approaches, that is single program approach, foreground and background approach, and multitasking approach. What do you mean by a single program approach? So this single program approach is the one which uses a minimum of both hardware and software, and this is the approach which can be used for simple small applications, simple small systems. And this single program approach is basically very easy to test, very easy to test. So let's see the single program approach flow chart. The next. So the single program approach is the basic programming approach for the implementation in the design of real-time systems. This is considered to be the most easiest way to program. So this flowchart will explains how actually the single program approach is implemented. So here we can see that we have a start module initially, so startup, and we can see there is all the types of modules are included here. So we have a clock and calendar module, and we have a control module, display module, operator input module, management information module, and so on. So we have all these modules. So the requirement for a clock or calendar is that what is the requirement of the single program approach? The requirement is that the clock and calendar module must run on all the other modules less than 20 milliseconds, or it must run at every 20 milliseconds. So the system to work the clock and calendar module, and it checks if this time for control is ready. So within 20 milliseconds this has to update. It will check for every module whether it is ready within 20 milliseconds. So it will check for this module first. If it is yes, okay, it will update the control module within 20 milliseconds or every 20 milliseconds. Similarly, suppose if this module is not ready to update within that time, it will check for the next module. So it says no, again it will check other module, again it check for other module. So in case any module is ready, it will ready and it will update. It will update. So the same thing. So hence what we can mention here is that the requirement for the requirement for system to work is expressed as, for single program approach it can be expressed as, see, if T1 is the computational time taken to update clock or control module, and T2 is the maximum computational time for module control. If T3 is the maximum computation time to update display module, similarly T4 and T5, how do you write the requirement here? The requirement is that, so T1 has to update, requirement is that T1 plus max of any one of the module, that is T2, T3, T4, T5 should run on any one of the module less than 20 milliseconds. So this is the most important requirement for single program approach. I told you that T1, T2, T3, T4, T5 are the computational times for the modules such as clock or calendar, control, display, input and management information. So this is the requirement T1. So it's like T1 has to update on any modules. If T2 is ready, it has to be updated at 20 milliseconds. Similarly, T1 has to run compulsorily. It will check if T2 is not ready, it will see that if T3 is ready. If it is ready, that will update. So if T1, T4 less than 20 milliseconds. Similarly, T1 plus uh, T5 less than 20 milliseconds. Like that, it keeps on updating. So this is the basic requirement. Hence, we can tell that this single program approach can be useful for simple small systems. Okay, and these are the systems which are easy to test. So here we see what is foreground and background approach. In single program approach, the disadvantage was it imposed a severity in the time constraint. So it means that we saw a previous flowchart where we saw various modules present in that, and each module had different time constraints. Okay, all the modules were dumped in one single program, but the advantage of using this foreground and background is that, so first advantage is it imposes less time constraints. So I can write that it imposes less tight time constraint. The first one is less tight time constraints. The most important advantage of using the foreground and background approach. This is the first one, and second one would be less module interaction. There will be less module interaction in case of this approach. So what we are doing here is that if modules with hard time constraints can be separated and handled immediately or independently, and we call it as an foreground. So basically we need to understand what is foreground. What is foreground task? Foregrounds are the modules. We can tell that these are the modules with hard time constraints. These are the modules with hard time constraints. Okay, when I say hard time constraints, these are the modules are the one which has highest priority. So these modules, basically it will be an highest priority task, and it is the one which run with hard real-time constraints. What do you mean by background tasks? So background tasks are again modules that run with soft time constraints, and these will have basically the priority less than that of foreground. So it will have lowest priority than foreground. Okay, so we basically understood what is the foreground task and what are background tasks. So we basically have to partition this foreground and background task in this approach. So what we are doing in foreground and background task is that we are partitioning the both the tasks. So what do you mean by partitioning? Partitioning involves real-time operating system support. So we need support of real-time operating system in order to partition hard real-time constraints and soft real-time constraints. So partition what? Partition foreground tasks and background tasks. So with this basic understanding, we can see the flow chart now. So in this basic diagram, we can see that this is a flow chart to understand foreground and background approach. So here the same single program approach flow chart is being taken. However, it is modified according to the foreground and background approach. So we know that all the highest priority tasks are foreground tasks. So hence we have segregated or separated or partitioned, anything we can tell. So we have partitioned clock or calendar module and control module because these are with hard time constraints. All the rest of the modules including startup was an interactive module, so it is under background task. So these will also run in background, operator input will run in background, and management information. So this foreground and background approach says that there is a clear partitioning, clear separation between two parts of the system. So one with foreground and another with background. So now we need to write the requirement for foreground. So what is the requirement for foreground? So as we wrote the requirement for single program approach, we need to write the requirement for foreground tasks. So considering T1 is the computational time for clock or calendar, T2 is the computational time for the control module, we can mention that T1 plus T2 less than 20 milliseconds. So we have only one module to run. Clock and calendar module can only run on the control module because we don't have any other modules here. So clock and calendar module plus control module should run at every 20 milliseconds. So this is the requirement for foreground. Similarly, we can write requirement for background. So this is very important to write. So we know that when I say background, it is basically a soft time constant one. So depend on what timing it will update, so that we need to write in this requirements. So background part is that the first module we have is the display. So we can tell that the display module is updated at every 5 seconds. So I am writing 5 seconds, but it need not be 5 seconds. Since it is soft real time constant, I can give any timing constraint. So if you assume T3 as the maximum computation time for display module, for operator input module T4, and for the management information module if the computational time is T5. So we can write one more requirement, that is max of either of these modules T3, T4, T5 can run within 10 seconds. So since it is a soft time constraint based modules which are placed in the background, I can give 10 seconds, 20 seconds or anything. It is not standard, so we can relax with respect to the time. Whereas in the foreground task we saw that there is no relaxation. It is it's like it has to run within 20 milliseconds because these are the highest priority tasks. So in this approach we are trying to separate both or partition both foreground and background. So how we are partitioning this? Using or a support from real-time operating system. We can write one more like this. We can write our own requirements. Operator input response at response in less than 10 seconds. Like this we can write our own timing constants. So here we can see that in the background the timing constants are much relaxed compared to the foreground tasks. So next we have to see what are the various steps we need to take care in case of multitasking approach. So when we say when we are designing any larger systems or larger real-time systems, so the implementation of multitasking systems require ability to control. First we need to see that we have to create a separate task. So these are the steps, basic steps to be followed in case of multitasking approach. The first implementation of the multitasking approach will require the ability to create separate tasks. So once you create separate tasks, we need to schedule the CPU time, schedule CPU time to all the tasks. So once this is done, so second we need to schedule, and then we need to share data to all the tasks, share data to all the tasks between the tasks, and we have to ensure that we need to take care of task synchronization. There should be a synchronization. If you have more than some 10 to 15 tasks or n number of tasks, task synchronization is very important. Or events need to be taken care. And we should also see that there is no task corruption. So there is no task corruption. So this is also being taken care in the multitasking approach, and it also helps in control of starting and stopping of tasks. Starting and stopping of tasks. This is about the multitasking approach. So to summarize the contents from this video, we basically understood what are the basic software modules that are used in order to design the real-time systems. We know that these are clocker calendar module, and it is next is the control module, and we have so control module, and we have management module, management information module. So yeah, we can just write a management request or information module, and display module, operator input module, and startup module. We also looked into what is startup module. So the next thing what we saw was approaches, that is single program approach. Single program approach, the requirement of this approach for the system to work is that T1 plus max of T2, T3, T4, T5 should run within 20 milliseconds, where T1, T2, T3, T4, T5 are the computational time for clocker calendar, control, management, display, operator input modules must run at 20 milliseconds. Similarly, we also understood foreground and background approach. Foreground and background approach, where we understood that the foreground approaches are always highest priority tasks, backgrounds are lowest priority task compared to the foreground. So these are the one with high priority hard real-time constraints. These are the one with run at soft real-time constraints. So separation we take in help of RTOS. So the requirement for foreground is that, so this is the most important thing to be understood. Since we segregated or separated hard and soft, so T1 plus T2 less than 20 milliseconds. For background you can write that display module runs at every 10 seconds and so on, or we can simply write max of T3, T4, T5 less than 10 seconds it has to